Okay. Hello out there. This is Rob. Welcome back to the channel. What you are looking at is a track that I started about 8 months ago, and I did a couple videos on this certain aspects of this track. And it's kind of been on again, off again, working on it. And so now I've pretty much got it finished. And I want to go over it with you. But let's just take a quick listen here for a few bars here. And we'll check it out. Okay, so when we left off last time, or the last video that I did on this track, there was no breakdown, there were no effects, there wasn't any automation. There were a lot of things missing. I've added a lot of stuff, like I've added these violins. So basically, the track consists of an intro. Go back here, you've got a shaped kick, and the way it doesn't sound like the full-on kick. When you start it, it sounds like this. It's kind of an abbreviated kick, and the way that I did that is I've got the normal kick profile, you'll notice, on the EQ, but what I do is I take an LFO tool and then I shorten the envelope way down. So as you can see, it's a normal kick. I'm going to throw this on there. Still sounds like a kick, but it doesn't have the boom. It's been cut away. Now I could filter it away, but this one sounded better this way, so I did it. That's the way I did it this time. And then it's got a drum section. Well, it's got ride in here too, so let's hear it all together. When you skip up, you get more parts coming in. Oops. And the ride kicks in. And after that, it has a bass line that consists of a top bass. Let's just go right here. Then it's got a kind of a mid bass. Oops, that's actually wrong. Then a grit bass. And I've got a little bit of reverb on that. You can hear that. Then, okay, where are we at here? Then what I call its unison bass. That was probably just an old, from an old preset that I've never changed. It's just an off bass. And so all together. then it obviously has the pads that come in, but one of the features, kind of the trademarks of the track, is this piano. And I put this piano together on the previous video, part one of this, the full track walkthrough videos. It sounds like this. So I have it right here where it hits the piano. But it doesn't sustain long enough to my satisfaction, no matter what it didn't have the sound that I want. So I bounced that, then looped the delay part, ran it through another delay, and this is kind of the run out, what it sounds like when it's allowed to run out. And then I have automation in here that okay, go up here to piano atmosphere. You can see where I have both of these combined. This is the run out loop, this is the hit, and then if you look in here, then it fades out slightly. Okay, and it hits again. And then the pads are, there are just two layers here. Got this one here. This is filtered down, and it builds up. So this is kind of a voicey pad out of Nexus 2. This one is smooth strings out of EXS24 patch. Put them together. Keeps building up. And then you get into the breakdown. The pads really do their thing, kind of. Here we go. And that gets us, when we get to this, they fade way down. When we get to this point, they start building up, and then to the point where the plucks come in, which is kind of the ARP plucks. So let's play that. Violins now. Added the violins. It's an Omnisphere patch. Run through a lot of reverb. Mixes way up. Not an overly large decay time, but pretty big. Let's see if you can hear what's coming up here, right here. Click there. So let's hear that again. Okay, and so then it gets into the ARP lead, kind of plucky lead. That consists of a serum patch, then a kind of a silent patch, 2 layers. Kind of makes it sing, and then the attacky part right here is the silence attack. Right there. see if we can figure out where that click is coming from. Okay, so what we're going to do is maybe it's in the rides. Okay, so there was no big leap up in the level there. Okay, so let's go to the bottom base, and that will, whoops, encompass all of these tracks. It's probably going to cause a massive glitch in my CPU if I leave those all selected like that. Okay, so let's go like this. Not seeing it yet. See here? Okay, they come in, but let's solo those. Let's solo the plucks, see if we hear a click. Okay, there's no click there, so that leaves this white noise right here. Let's see how that sounds on its own here when it comes in. Okay, so that's a rise, so it's not going to be that. And there's another one down here. Okay, so let's take a look at it. This has got to be it, right? Might help if I actually played it. Okay. Okay, that's it. So the easy way to fix this is to go in here. Okay, so let's do a fade in. See if that takes it away. Okay, so problem solved there. All right. Okay, so let's continue on here. Plucks, they build up. The filter is opening up. There's the filter right there opening up. Something right here that, let's see here, this right here, this filter kick that's used primarily for kick rolls. Let's listen to that. Okay. That's not loud enough in context, so I've got it filtered. I got the low end filtered up to 47 hertz, that's still a lot of low end. Let's take it down to 40. like so. Let's see what that sounds like. A little bit more oomph. Okay, and so maybe we can give it a little gain here. Okay, yeah, it's down there quite a bit. All right, so let's take it up. Now, when you're making adjustments to a track like this, let's take that back. That's 14.3. If I take it up to 13, that's like a dB and a half. That's about a dB of gain I'm adding right there at 13.5, 1.2 dBs. That's quite a bit when you're in the final context of a track. Well, anyways, I've found that if you don't want to make any big moves at that point, when you have the mix, kind of everybody is in the auditorium is seated. You don't want to make one guy stand up and stand out, kind of that analogy. So let's see where we're at here. Okay, that's a little louder. Okay, that helps a little bit. I don't want to go much further than that, so. Okay, I'm good with that. Get off that here. One thing about Logic, and it may be the case with other DAWs, if you select a group track bus, like this one here, Sum 3, which is all of the pluck synths going to it, and the verb back to it, you'll spike your CPU. So, way to fix it is not have it selected. Okay, let's listen on to the track here. Okay, so one thing that I want to fix is this, not that impact right here. Let's listen to that in context. Okay, that might need to come up a little bit. Let's see here. I'm going to raise that 1 dB. Okay, let's give that a listen. Okay, that makes that stand out a little bit better. I like that. All right, so we were right here. This is the build-up where it drops back down into the snare build-up. Everything filters down. I think the snare sounds okay. Okay, so you can hear that reverb on the plucks really ringing out. That's really the only thing other than the pads. You've got the pads playing. Their reverb is not really all that. And they're filtered down quite a bit, so they're not really prominent up here in the highs, but the plucks are. Okay, so what I did there is, because eventually after this group, this 16 measures, then the pianos are going to come in, and that the pianos add a lot of reverb. So a lot of reverb, big spacey, trancey reverb sound. Listen. Okay, and so over here what I did on the plucks, you'll notice that I have the reverb opens way up here. Listen to this. So you can hear that reverb really opening up. And it closes down a little bit, but it's still very prominent. Then when the drop hits, I've got the reverb send, which is a reverb send. There's actually 2 layers of reverb with the plucks, but I've got this right here because there was really nothing to add this big spacey trancey sound if this was turned down. So what I do is I give it to the listener, and then I take it away somewhat, but leave it in there so that it's kneaded a little bit to make the track still sound big. But then when the pianos come in with all that reverb, I turn the reverb down even further on the plucks. So let's hear that transition. Now you can hear the piano adds a lot of reverb sound, but the plucks don't have as much anymore. But let's see here. I want to, in context, I want to give it another listen here. Maybe it's a little bit too much. Okay, I'm going to try turning that down just a little bit here. Okay, let's get in here. We're at minus 11.8. Let's take it down to minus 12.5. Let's give that a listen. Okay, that's making a good statement. I like that. That works for me. It's not too much. I didn't want it to be too much. I wanted it to be consistent with everything else that we're hearing in the track. Okay, and then so down here I have an issue here that I want to examine. That's the kind of the 2 little percussive elements. You've got the little cymbal sweep here, and then the kind of lasery sounding snare. I want to make sure that sounds balanced. So let's go over here and let's listen to this here. Whoop, not that one, this one. Let's analyze this sound. Okay. And then let's analyze the snare sound. Okay. Now the snare has more punch, but this has more crunch. It has more sizzle. Let's see here. The cymbal. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to see how it sounds here. I'm going to take a couple dB, 1.5 dB off, shave a little bit off, maybe a little bit more, and then raise the volume up a dB, and see if that balances it out. Gives it a little bit more volume, but not as much sizzle. Okay. Okay, in context. Okay, I think that sounds a little bit more balanced. Okay, I think that hits pretty good. Okay, and so the bass line, let me show you what I've got going on here. The bass line is, okay, but wrong lane. The bass line is filtered down. Now, if you go over here to the build, it's pretty much all the way open. It's the filter, it's got a lot more high end as it builds up. In fact, it starts pretty low. It starts at 2700, or actually lower than that. It starts at 343 hertz. Then it does a little kind of wah-wah. Then it drops down to 27, kind of when the pads come in the build, and then it gets all the way up here to, you know, just essentially all the sound that there is in the patches that I have in the layers. But when I get over here to the drop, there's so much going on in the drop, I don't need that much. The audience already knows what the bass is going to sound like from over here. You know, they've got it in their mind, so they know the bass is still going to be there, and so I am able to, I gave them the sound. Now I'm going to take it away a little bit. Okay, so we're at 4700 hertz, and then it's going to drop all the way down, or it's going to actually start coming up, excuse me, to 6000 hertz at the very end. Okay, so let's listen to that here. Still hear the bass. And now keep in mind that the reverb, I'm pulling a lot of the reverb away from the plucks, so that makes room for the intensity in the bass gradually growing. It's like 1000 hertz. A little bit more. Barely audible. By the time you get to the last couple of sections here, the last 16 bars, you're going to pull the kick drum away. The last 8 bars, excuse me, here it comes. And then so you have another drop down snare kind of bridge build. Drop down, that's done with the Simplon. See, it's all the way down here to 461 hertz, which is a lot of the high-end cutaway. In almost all of them, a lot of elements are gone, then you just are left with the piano. Kind of little acidy parts that I'm not really convinced they're working that well. Okay, and that's basically how it ends. Another thing that I do, I've got a bunch of effects over here. I've got the, kind of the little sample pack builds that I think this is a Leviathan Black Octopus, kind of getting dated. But I don't have them very loud. Now if you'll hear it in context here. Oh, that's because I like to use, I don't have these very loud because I like to use white noise to build my anticipation. Kind of building up where something's coming. The way I do it is I look through, I've got a bunch of sample packs that have white noise falls, white noise rise, and then I take and I trim them down to fit the track. They were 136, I believe, or whatever they were. So this is how I handle white noise right here. Then there's automation on here to kind of adjust it to the rest of the elements in the track, because the volume level of these files are not going to match your mix, so you're going to have to do some automation. And there's the automation right there. So this is what it sounds like. You have the fall. And then it builds back up. So the white noise falls and builds, and then it falls again. So that's kind of how I do it. Well, see, I was sometimes these pads, it's automation in Logic. Sometimes these pads they don't move. If they were automated way down and then you move the needle over here, then sometimes it doesn't pick up the automation where it's at. So see, there we go. It's weird how sometimes Logic does that. I don't know why it does that, but. So anyhow, there you have it. It's pretty much a finished track. I think that I am going to send this off and have it mastered, see what they can do with it. And hopefully I'll find someone to release it. But anyways, it's been a long time. I'm not going to let my next video take 8 months to hit. So appreciate you watching. It's kind of a long one today. If you liked this video, hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. Get that like squad going. And also, if you like this channel and want to see newer videos or whatnot, hit that subscribe button. That'd make me happy. Thank you very much.